While the world remains focused on conflicts, crises, and changes happening here on Earth, a silent, powerful, and highly strategic movement is unfolding above our heads. A movement that doesn't make immediate noise, doesn't dominate headlines every day, but has the potential to completely redefine the global balance of power in the coming decades. The United States is returning to the moon. And this time, it's not just about exploration or scientific curiosity. It's about dominance, influence, and the future of humanity beyond Earth. More than half a century after the last time a human being ventured near the moon, a new mission marks the beginning of a completely different era. Artemis II is not just another spaceflight. It represents a shift in mindset, a new race, and possibly the beginning of a much larger competition than anything we've seen on this planet. This mission sent 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon, following a carefully planned trajectory designed to test everything needed for the next steps. Over the course of about 10 days, these astronauts traveled farther than any human has gone since the 1970s. There was no landing, no lunar walk, and because of that, many people might underestimate what this mission truly represents. But that's exactly the point. Artemis II is not about arriving. It's about proving that returning is possible in a consistent, safe, and strategic way. It's a full-scale rehearsal for something much bigger. Every system tested, every decision made, every second spent in space is part of a final objective: establishing a continuous human presence beyond Earth. And when we talk about continuous presence, we're talking about something that goes far beyond science. We're talking about infrastructure, economy, geopolitical power, and even control over resources. The moon, which for decades was seen merely as a symbol of historic achievement, is now considered an extremely valuable strategic point. This is because it can serve as an intermediate base for longer missions, especially those aimed at Mars. Its lower gravity makes launches easier, significantly reducing the cost and complexity of deep space travel. There's also another critical factor: natural resources. The moon contains rare materials, including helium-3, which many scientists believe could play a key role in the future of clean energy on Earth. If that becomes reality, we're looking at a potential energy revolution, and whoever controls that resource could gain a massive advantage over the rest of the world. This completely changes the game. Suddenly, space exploration is no longer just a scientific endeavor. It becomes a competition for territory, influence, and power. And in this scenario, the United States is not alone. Countries like China are rapidly advancing their own space programs, with ambitious plans to establish lunar bases and expand their presence beyond Earth. This is where Artemis II becomes even more significant, because it doesn't happen in a political vacuum. It's part of a global context where space has become the new arena of competition between major powers. And this is where a figure that generates both strong support and intense controversy comes into play: Donald Trump. During his time in leadership, he was one of the main drivers behind the Artemis program. His vision was clear and direct. The United States could not afford to lose leadership in space. For him, this wasn't just about prestige, it was about national security and global influence. It was within this context that key decisions were made, including strengthening space initiatives and even creating a dedicated force focused on operations beyond Earth. The idea that space could become a new domain of conflict shifted from science fiction to a real strategic consideration. This mindset directly influenced the direction of the Artemis program. The priority was no longer just to explore, but to lead. And in this case, leading means getting there first, establishing presence, and building a structure that other nations will struggle to match. With Artemis II taking place, that vision becomes tangible. It's no longer just a plan or a promise, it's happening right now. But like any ambitious strategy, there are contradictions.
At the same time, there is strong rhetoric about leadership and space dominance. There have also been proposals to reduce funding for scientific projects, including the very agency responsible for these missions. This raises an important question. Can a nation truly lead such a complex race while cutting investment? Space exploration requires cutting-edge technology, constant testing, and an extremely high level of precision. Any reduction in resources can directly impact development speed, increase risks, and potentially allow other nations to move ahead more quickly. This tension between ambition and investment creates uncertainty. On one side, there is a clear vision of leadership. On the other, there are practical limitations that could slow down progress. Even so, the impacts of Artemis II are already beginning to emerge. One of the first effects is the reinforcement of the United States' position as a leading technological power. Missions like this demonstrate capability, innovation, and coordination at a level few countries can achieve. There is also a significant economic impact. The development of space technologies generates highly skilled jobs, stimulates the creation of new companies, and attracts major investment. Many innovations developed for space end up being applied here on Earth in areas like medicine, communication, and energy. Another key point is the strategic dimension. Space is becoming a new domain of competition. Satellites already play a crucial role in communication, navigation, and even military operations. Expanding that presence beyond Earth's orbit opens new possibilities and new risks. In this context, Artemis II is not just a mission, it is a step towards a future where space becomes an integral part of national strategy. There is also a less technical but equally powerful factor: cultural impact. Space missions have the ability to inspire. They create a sense of unity, spark curiosity, and encourage people to look beyond their immediate realities. In a time marked by political and social divisions, that kind of inspiration can have a meaningful effect. The image of humans traveling around the moon once again revives a feeling that seemed lost since the era of the great space missions of the past. It serves as a reminder that despite all challenges, humanity is still capable of achieving extraordinary feats. But perhaps the most important aspect of Artemis II is what it represents for the future. This mission is only the beginning. The next step is to return humans to the lunar surface. After that, the goal is to establish a sustainable presence, and from there, use that base as a launch point for even more ambitious missions. Mars is no longer a distant dream. It is becoming a realistic objective. This raises profound questions. Who will lead this new phase of space exploration? What rules will govern the use of resources beyond Earth? And to what extent will this new race be about cooperation or competition? History shows that major technological advances are often accompanied by struggles for power. Space may follow the same path. Artemis II, therefore, is not just a technical mission, it is a symbol of transition. We are moving from an era where space was an occasional destination to one where it may become a permanent extension of human activity. And within this new reality, political decisions, economic strategies, and technological breakthroughs will determine who leads. The United States is taking a major step in that direction, but the race is far from over. In fact, it is only just begun. And what happens next may define not just the future of a single nation, but the future of all humanity beyond Earth.